You're the most quiet in the room.
Yeah.
We talk upon ourselves, we're braggadocious, we want people to know exactly what we're doing. You've never been that guy.
I used to see Andre mixing, doing mixtapes. And I asked him one day to show me how to DJ, and he showed me.
And when you say Andre, for people that's probably just checking his audio, it's Dre.
Yeah, Dre.
Dr. Dre. How did you and Snoop meet?
We met at probably like in the fourth grade. His brother Jerry was my best friend.
Snoop into music back then?
He always rapped. If he wasn't rapping, he was bagging on somebody. He always rapped, always. So we was like, damn, they calling themselves 415. That's representing the Bay. So we was like, let's call ourselves 213 because we represented Southern California. And that was L.A., Long Beach, Compton, Watts. You know, everywhere. Carson. Rage wasn't there in the beginning, but Dre had always loved Rage, and Dre, Suge, and them, they had some type of connection with Rage to where they had brought her in.
When does Ain't No Fun get recorded as a group record?
Ain't No Fun.
That's still an anthem to this day.
Yeah, yeah. Ain't No Fun came. That was after, you know, we had the Chronic cracking. You know, that, like I said, that whole era, the riots, that all inspired the Chronic on into Doggy Style. Told Suge that I told him not to sign the contract, so he got pissed off. You know, he grabbed me up, had me on the wall, because he's big and strong, so I couldn't hardly get away, but I still was talking shit. My relationship with Pac was solid. It was straight solid. We had some bumps and bruises in the beginning, but ultimately our relationship was great.
Big boy off air, Warren G. Man, thank you for sitting down with us, brother.
Hey, it's our pleasure.
Come on,
as
brother.
Always.
Come on, man. Warren, we've known each other probably 3 decades.
Yeah.
And we've had a chance to have some great moments, great dialogue. You know, I'm a fan first, you know what I'm saying? You was in the business doing what you were doing before I got into radio. You know what I'm saying? Even now, fast forward to today, I still watch your shows from the audience.
Oh, yeah.
I admire what you do, bro. And sometimes, Warren, I feel like you're the most quiet in the room.
Yeah.
And when I say the most quiet in the room, you know, we come from a genre or just a lifestyle where we talk upon ourselves, we're braggadocious, we want people to know exactly what we're doing. You've never been that guy. You know? Do you feel that, like, you've never talked up on yourself like how you should?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I probably, my thing is I just don't like drama. I don't like to get into no arguments or no, you know, anything like that, or brag, like you said, or brag, you know, about what I do, because, you know, I look at it like it's somebody that, you know, that I ain't a show off or trying to, you know, outdo anybody. I just do me and do the things that I do.
But that's you by personality
yeah.
as well, though. Huh?
But as far as like speaking on the things that I've done, I mean, I just I should have been more vocal, and I am gonna start being more vocal with speaking about, you know, a lot of the things I've done. So, you know, the newer generation, my kids, they can all know the things that I've done.
It's crazy because there's times, man, we'll start off doing things and we do it out of love. We do it out of, you know, it's new to us. We do it out of making sure somebody else gets down and somebody else look good, and we're lending helping hands. Then you fast forward to now, and it's like, man, I didn't get the paperwork. I didn't get the credit. I didn't get the acknowledgement. And, you know, and those kind of things happen. Fast rewind to me, Warren, and we've had these conversations many of times, man, but we never had a chance to do it in an off-air. When did you really start getting into music? Not making music, but just enjoying music.
My dad, when I was a kid, my father, when he separated from my mother, she used to send me over there on the weekends, and I would just sit there with him, and he would just play just jazz, smoke his bud, female friends and stuff coming through.
How old are you around that time?
I had to be maybe about 8,
So
7,
you
8.
soaking this all in, not
Yeah.
even knowing that this is tuition into the school experience. That's the same with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It was my brother Keith
Mm-hmm.
that made me fall in love with music, you know, with records and reading, you know, the credits and looking at a record and seeing the grooves where the groove.
Yeah.
I was fascinated
Yeah.
by all
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you were as well.
Yeah. Yeah. My mother, she was a blues lady. So, you know, I had to listen to B.B. King and all of them as well.
Yeah.
And that kind of was like what kind of gave me like that storytelling type of vibe about what I do.
So you grew up with music as a soundtrack to any household in
Yeah.
your life. Yeah, same.
Even church.
Yeah,
You know, we
but
was in church.
but you can hear that in your music, and you know what I'm saying, because we could put all, you know, but that's why when you say G-funk, there's something to it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's something that's musical and it's melodic, and that comes from, I think, from us being around and absorbing
Definitely.
so many different genres and all this different kind of music as well, bro. You know what I'm saying? When do you go from just listening to actually like falling in love with it and not making it, but just like you knew that this was just something that you always wanted to be around?
I'll say, I'm gonna go back to this again. When I used to see Andre mixing, doing mixtapes, and I asked him one day to show me how to DJ, and he showed me. You know, with the I think it was called Shaheem. The It's Time.
Oh yeah,
It's time. You know, he
Yeah.
showed me.
that all night fish.
Yeah,
It's time. Yeah.
how to mix, you know, how to DJ pretty much. Well, mix, DJ, and you know, cutting it up like as if I was.
Because
a
you
battle
already
DJ.
love music.
Yeah, I already love music.
And when you say Andre, for people that's probably just checking, it's Dre.
Yeah, Dre.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
But you had already loved music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when does Dr. Dre come into Warren G's life?
It was around the same time when I used to go see my dad, and I probably was like 8 around that time, about 8 or 9 then, maybe somewhere around there.
And what was the relationship again? 'Cause I know we spoke
My
on it.
father married Andre's mother,
Gotcha.
Verna.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
this is a young Warren and pretty much a young Dre as well.
Yes, indeed.
And Dre was already into music
Yeah,
further
he
than
was
you.
DJing. He was with the World Class Wrecking Crew around that time, and he used to be with Jinx and them. I forgot the name of Jinx and them crew. It was Cube, Jinx,
Right.
Dazzy D. He used to be around them too as well. But the World Class Wrecking Crew is.
'Cause I remember early on, Q was CIA, and
Well, it was CIA.
Right.
Yeah. He was working with CIA. Well, he used to be around CIA because he had got kicked out the house, so he had to move over that way. And then that's when he started working with CIA. But just falling in love with music, I fell in love with the mixtapes that he used to do, from him showing me how to DJ and then watching him doing it and doing the World Class Wrecking Crew. When he had the record surgery, records, mixers,
yeah,
turntables, yeah,
speakers.
yeah,
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
all of that. I fell in love with all of that, with all of that stuff, and along with still going back down to Long Beach, and rolling with the Voltron crew, which is the guys I talk about on this DJ. So I would still go down to Long Beach and get scooped up with everybody by Steve, and we go sell candy like in all these different places all over LA. And we would, on the way back after we finished selling candy, we would be battling and freestyling and all kind of shit. Snoop, all of the twins.
Not
all
knowing
of
what
it.
this was going to become, though.
Not knowing.
You know what I'm saying? So Snoop is selling candy. The twins are selling candy. you're selling candy.
Yeah.
So we got whoever's driving. Steve is the one that's picking y'all up to tell y'all.
Yeah, Steve picked us
He
up.
got platinum.
Yeah.
in history in his van.
I mean, shit.
But wasn't it different when you did it then for the love of it and how
Yeah.
new it was to you, bro? Like,
Yeah.
I grew up with everything in the house. The Temptations, Gladys Knight, Commodores, Jacksons, whatever it is. But when hip hop hit, and I love that. I love that. But when hip hop hit Warren, hip hop was mine. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop was mine, bro. It wasn't like I love anything that was before that, but this was a thing, bro, that I got that I was like, I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I used to love to go get records, not even knowing what the records were.
Oh yeah.
I would go out on quests just to find certain things. And you know, you can find hip hop now, but you remember we had to try to find. It was a band if you were lucky.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the radio, but it was just this thing that I fell in love with, and I know you did as well.
It's major.
Yeah, yeah, man.
You know, just, I mean, like, being in there freestyling with all my friends and selling candy, like you said, I felt like we were just saying, I fell in love with hip hop as well. So the combination of that and being around Dre and my dad and my mom, all of those were like the how can I put it? Like it was like the steps. Each one was a step to me loving music more and more and more.
And it's crazy because at that time when you just living it, you probably don't know what it is. Like this, you're filling up a blueprint for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't even know it.
Yeah, from something that you love. How did you and Snoop meet? And at what age?
Let me see. First, me and Snoop, we met at I probably was like in the fourth grade, and his brother Jerry was my best friend. So Beverly used to walk Jerry and Snoop. They'd be walking across the park, and I'd be
And that's
coming
moms.
up. Yeah, moms, and then I'd be coming up 20th to Orange, and I would stop at the liquor store, play asteroids, get some now laters, and then. And on my way walking to school, I bump heads with Jerry and Snoop. You know, but Snoop he didn't go with us. He went to another elementary school that all the kids, the good kids wanted, good kids got to go
Wanted
there.
to go to that school.
We had to go to CIS, Gladiator School, me and Jerry. So me and Jerry was best friends. And then I used to be around Jerry, so all of us kind of, all our relationships started, as far as me being friends with Snoop as well, along with Jerry. With all of that started at Kings Park. The Twins, that was our epicenter. That was our home. After we got out of school, we'd go home. If we had homework, do it. Next thing, we at the park, playing basketball, or if it's swimming, or just playing the little,
like
the game.
Yeah.
The game where you had to hit the little circle on the little mountain.
Yeah. Little caroms and everything.
Yeah,
there's caroms.
Yes indeed, yes indeed.
Hey man, and it's crazy because we had to create so much. Like we didn't have phones, we didn't have internet, we didn't have satellite channels and streaming, so you were outside.
Yeah.
And you were it was different ways that you kind of built, bro. You know what I'm saying? So coming home wanting to get outside and be amongst your peers.
Yeah.
You know, and playing caroms or any after school activities that no one even do anymore.
Yeah.
So you building with some guys a friendship that you didn't even know, a kinship for the rest of y'all lives, bro. Yeah. So when you meet Dogg, first you hanging with his brother.
Yeah, me and Jerry was best friends.
When do you and Snoop become friends? Because even at that time, it's not even mates. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me and Snoop, we became tight during Pop Warner football. He was on the team always up under me, but we still played with the same guys. So we all used to hang around each other. So that's where our relationship, like us becoming tight, started at. And that was Pop Warner football.
Was Snoop into music back then?
He always rapped. If he wasn't rapping, he was bagging on somebody. He always rapped, always.
Were you rapping back then more?
I wasn't not that much. When we got to the Voltron crew,
Right.
I was trying.
How old is Voltron crew? How old are you? Are you in your teens? Are you
we was
or junior high, as
young
we called it?
teens. I say about maybe like 12, 13, right up in that around I say about 12 to 15, because it was some guys that probably was like, I say 13 to about 15, and because we had some guys, we was the youngest, and then we had some guys that was like 16, like
How
15.
many people in Voltron crew?
Shit, it was at least about 15 of us.
Man.
I can't name everybody. I could try though.
Yeah.
Steve, Deion, Dwayne, Snoop, Fabian, Tick, Taniti, Richard, God dang it, Priscilla, Macy, damn it, God dog it. Let me see. I'm forgetting.
Are
They
the
gonna
twins
be
in
pissed at me
Voltron?
too. The twins.
Have you named them already?
Yeah, Deion and Dwayne.
Hey man, but it's crazy because I remember I used to be in a group called Nitro Rock.
Oh,
I know it
yeah.
sounds crazy as fuck now, but you couldn't tell us anything. But
Yeah.
you had these like almost like these super groups because everybody kind of loved the same thing. Just like how my son can sit on and he could play, you know, Call of Duty or any of these games, and he has a network of friends in his headphones. That was us.
I'm like that now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a sign of the times, though.
Yeah.
But so, Dog, you say he was always rapping.
He was always rapping, man. Or like, you know, like I said, we called it ranking or bagging, but he was either ranking on somebody or bagging on somebody, talking shit, and had everybody laughing always. Or if he was rapping, he'd captivate the crowd.
When did you guys become even more of a group?
From high school, he had got, his mother had moved to North Long Beach off of 61st and Linden. And this is what I learned later on. But it happened in high school. I was on my way out to lunch. And while I'm on my way to lunch, I heard somebody say, Warren. So I looked, and it was Snoop. I'm looking like, Snoop, what the fuck you doing up here? He's like, my mom's moved to 61st and Linden, so I had to come to Jordan. I couldn't go to Poly no more. And I was like, is that right? He said, shit, you still, getting down with the music. Because we was always trying to rap, always trying to do all kind of shit.
But y'all see each other in passing?
Yeah, in the Voltron crew
Right.
and football and stuff. So I was like, yeah. And I told him, I said, shit, I got turntables, I got a mixer, I got a tape deck. We could start doing some mixtapes. So we did a couple mixtapes just right out of my room. I lived on 61st and Orange. He stayed on 61st and Linden. So I used to be in the room, 2 turntables, my mixer, my realistic mixer.
Yep, I remember those,
bro. We would record just freestyling records over anybody's beat. So we did one, maybe about 5 songs, and I packaged them, I dubbed them, packaged them, and sent them to Kara Lewis. Mailed them to
because we always seen that name, Kara Lewis Agency. Yeah, and then Rakim would say it at the end of the song.
Man, I tried to mail everybody copies of our music that was on Crush Groove, and we just kept working. And so we went through high school, and during high school we used to. Snoop would have a lot of battles. I wasn't really rapping then. I was just more on the DJ tip for him. But I would spit my little shit here and there. And but Snoop, we used to hear about who was the hardest in the school or around Long Beach or whatever, and we want to battle. We want to go. So we used to have rallies, and other guys would ditch they school to come to our rallies just to battle. Our rallies was the shit. So everybody in the whole
like pep
district,
rallies.
Oh yeah, our football rallies. Oh, cracking. To where everybody started ditching school to come to our rallies, and Snoop would battle whoever it was that came in. They came in just to get down with him. But then he had to battle all the guys that was at Jordan too, and them niggas was hard. They wasn't no poop butts. You know, you had Jet, you had God damn it. Oh my God, they gonna kill me. I know Jet. You had Jet, Handyman. Uh, God dog, us. What's my guy, man? Shit, I mean, he was super hard. He was like Rakim. Oh my God, I can't. They, I hope they don't get pissed off
They
at
will.
me. Yeah.
Man, he didn't even name y'all.
but they Snoop battled everybody. And there was a dude named Mo Mays. Uh, this nigga used to want to battle. He was a funny dude, but he was big old chunky motherfucker with a funny hairdo. But he was hard to us, you know. But he always was trying to battle Snoop. Everybody.
Could you see it early on with Snoop?
Yeah. He was dope. He was that dope. I knew he had something. That's why I kept working with him and trying to make it happen for him. Just
Did you
no
feel
matter
like
what it was.
like the attention for music was a little bit different when it came to Snoop? You know, because we got lives that we got to live as well. There's a life and a lifestyle and lives and everything like that. Did you feel like? Because I know I talked to Snoop about it. You know, when you guys started getting a little bit more making tapes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where Dog got frustrated.
Yeah.
And you explained it, but he explained it where he was saying like, dude, like, I threw my raps in the trash.
Yeah. I couldn't let him give up. You know what I mean? We went through too much to give all this shit up. And what was happening was the street game was kind of starting to take over. You know, because we was making a little bit of money. We started getting a little bread, started getting known a little bit. So people started chiming in. So the street game has started kind of taking away from that, and that's probably why he was so frustrated. And at the same time, wasn't nobody giving us a shot at anything.
Right. And you got to think too, man, life is like, how do you give up either what you're making money on, put your time into something when you're like, man, wait, you want me to, like, man, that shit ain't paying no bills right now. So I could kind of understand it. It sounds genius now, but when you lock yourself into that time, it's like, I could understand it, bro. But you saw something, even Dog, when I sat with him, he said you just saw something different and you believed in it more.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't let him give up, man.
Yeah,
I couldn't let him give up. Cause we just like I said, we was grinding too hard to give up, and then I used to have a grudge with everybody else that he used to battle. I used to have a grudge, like I'm not a grudge, but I used to have that feeling to where like I'm not getting ready to let this dude stop to give all them the satisfaction of him not making it, because I know he doper than all you motherfuckers. So that's what made that umph in me that kept staying on top of him and motivating him to keep going. And even though we in the hustle game, you going to the county jail, I go to the county jail, back and forth during all those times, I couldn't give up. I just had to keep pushing.
Did you know what you was pushing for, though?
I didn't even know, but I knew we was gonna get somewhere. Yeah. You know, and so we even started. We didn't give up. You know, I dug in the trash, pulled his rhymes out, and put them back in the house. You know, and cause it's like, nigga, all the stuff you used to rap to me, you gonna throw this away?
And he physically threw it in the trash.
Threw it in the trash.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck
and you
this shit.
jumped in the dumpster.
Went in that motherfucker and grabbed it out of there. It wasn't a dumpster. It was one of them trash cans like that.
So you digging in.
Dug in there and pulled that shit out of there. I just couldn't see him give up. You know, I was like, nah, you can't give up.
Did he see you go into the trash, or did he just come back to the spot?
Nah, he didn't see me go in the trash. I just took him out of there because he went upstairs. I took him out and brought him. Well, I brought him right back up to him. Brought him right back.
What did he say when you brought his shit from out the trash?
Me ain't say shit. You know, Snoop. Yeah, you pissed off sometimes. Like, nigga, I just brought this shit back. You ain't getting ready to throw this shit in the trash. All this dope shit that you done rap to me. My name is on some of it too. Shit,
Yeah.
cut it out.
Hey man, when did you go from us being able, not us, but you making tapes with Dogg? How does Nate Dogg get in? Because I know at one point you were saying that you and Snoop were cool.
Yeah.
And you was kind of overprotected with Snoop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
Well, we knew Nate. Snoop knew Nate more than I did because they was in the church circuit with the playing basketball and the churches battling and stuff like that, as well as King Park. I used to see Nate and them at Kings Park as well, but we wasn't like playing together like
Right.
like me and Snoop and us was. Well, Snoop had knew Nate and them, so Nate was going to Poly. Snoop had went back to Poly from Jordan, for his senior year, but he had the most fun of his life at Jordan.
Hello.
So he went back to Poly, and he bumped heads with Nate. I think Nate was Nate. I forgot. I don't know. No, because Snoop was a senior, so Nate was already out of school. He was in the services.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got out the services, he heard about us, with what we was doing around the neighborhood, because we was all over, like going to little clubs and shit.
And hood famous.
Yeah, hood famous.
Yeah.
We was making some noise. So he came up to the spot where we was serving at, and jumped out and was just like, hanging with us for a few days, and Snoop was like, "You still get down, Nate?" He was like, "Warren, this nigga can sing." And I'm like, "Shit, hey, it's all good." So we would be doing the freestyling and rapping and, doing all kind of stuff, freestyling for everybody on the spot, and everybody, we'd all be in one house, drinking, smoking, just freestyling up. Snoop would be busting over instrumentals and just having a good time. And Nate would start singing. So we was like, shit. We was like, man, he gotta be part of what we doing. So we just started moving around, and they would move with us, and everywhere we went, when we would do like a little gig. By the way, Roger Clayton opened up some big doors for us.
Roger Clayton, Uncle Jim's Army.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir.
He had
same with me, bro.
Yes, indeed. He gave us a shot, and that's how our name started spreading around.
Like at Uncle Jim's Army?
Not through Uncle Jam. It wasn't Uncle Jam's Army. He just had the Toe Jam in Long Beach, but then he had other clubs all over LA. So he was giving us a shot coming in there on the I think they was Wednesdays to come in there. Then the shit used to be packed. Come in there and just get down. I get on the turntables, I set it off. You drink whiskey, I drink wine. Come on, everybody, it's gangster time. Boom, 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 boom. Snoop Dogg, come up to the mic and let them know what time. Then Snoop will start busting, tearing it up, and so he gave us that shot. So like I said, it was building for us all.
Was that your first time performing in front of an audience, like getting those times together?
Yeah. Yeah, that was our that was the preps.
And at that time, is it you, Warren, and Snoop?
It was me. Yeah, it was me. It was me, Snoop, and Nate.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, me, Snoop, and Nate.
Are y'all 213 at that time, or?
Well, no, we at that time we was shit, I forgot. We had so many different names. We even had a name called, we was even Three the Hard Way, where it was me, Snoop, and my homeboy Big E from DC. Well, he live in DC now.
Three the Hard Way, like the movie.
Yeah. My homeboy Big E, he was a part of our shit
so when
too.
we hear like 213 or we hear certain things, it was a lot before y'all got to that.
It was a lot before that. Yeah. And but what we did is we used to always on the spot, because when it was all said and done, we was right back on the spot, serving, doing what we got to do. And we used to listen to all different types of people, well, hip hop guys who was, in the, underground. So we heard Quick, we heard 415, we heard just a bunch of different. MWOC had a mixtape. We used to.
So you talking about like just the underground mixtape?
Yeah.
Like the circuits, like how we would go grab them.
Yeah.
And then nobody was like, radio a lot, but it was like,
Yeah.
man, we went out and got that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Did y'all want to be a part of that? You know how you listen to, like, even with
Definitely.
Dre and the Rhodium, Swap Meet, Steve,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, hell yeah.
Everything that was going on. So this is what happened from listening to all of those groups, and we fell in love with 415, which was Richie Rich and
Oh, yeah.
D-Lo. We fell in love with them, and so we was like, damn, they calling themselves 415. That's representing the Bay. So we was like, let's call ourselves 213 because we representing Southern California, and that was L.A., Long Beach, Compton, Watts, you know, everywhere, Carson, you know.
And this is before they took the area codes and really
Split
them up,
this
too,
was before
yeah.
562.
Yeah, man.
If I'm not mistaken, 310 might have been around. Now 310 came after 213.
Oh, yeah, definitely after 2
Yeah, it was 213 was everybody's area code, and so that's what we wanted to represent. So we started doing songs that cater to that. So we did a record called Long Beach is a Motherfucker, and that was one of our first demos as well that we really liked a lot. My homeboy Money B, not Money B from Digital Underground, but my white buddy Money B, let us come in his house, and he recorded us doing our first real demo as 213.
Now, are you making original music then, or y'all still going over instrumentals?
Break records.
Yeah.
Yeah, he popped on the doom boom da doom boom 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 do do doom doom boom 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 boom, and then I started off. Well, I'm the WARRENG, and Snoop saying I'm the S and double O into the PDOG, and then I'm like finna kick something about our city, and what he say? The L, the O, the N, the G, the B, the E, the A, the C, the H, no pity. And we both say no pity will be given. The situations are real because it's the life we live in. So without further hesitation, yo, G-Dub, why don't you kick the demonstration? And then I start off the first verse sitting back in my room smoking a 20 sack. Me and my homie Snoop Rock just kicking back, talking shit. And so right after I finished busting,
You said Snoop Rock in that?
Yeah, Snoop, me and my homie Snoop Rock just kicking back, thinking about these funny ass niggas sipping and tripping on the satin that they sipping. So I told the homie Snoop Rock, why don't you preach about it? Tell the shit like it should be told. Why don't you mold the motherfuckers and scold the motherfuckers and teach each and all to learn how to ball like a real nigga? So I figured, since you got the game, why don't you school these niggas? And Snoop come in, old bust ass niggas from the city. And I said, he is a fool.
You know what's crazy about that? Is that sound, like what it is and what it was. And you know what I'm saying? And that was like y'all early introductions.
Yeah.
So y'all always had something, bro, that was different. That y'all hadn't even given to the world yet. You gave to probably the streets of Long Beach.
Yeah.
Carson, Gardena, maybe surrounding areas, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
not knowing that the world was going to gravitate and emulate this thing from the West Coast, bro.
Yeah, it was a trip.
Is that the tape you give to Dre?
That's the same exact tape that I took. Actually, I took it to L.A. Dre. Rest in peace. Took it to L.A. Dre. It was his bachelor party that Dre was giving for him, so I took it.
Did Dre know that you had a passion for music, and that you was cooking with Snoop Dogg and cooking with Warren G?
Well, I used to tell him. I used to tell. Well, I used to just tell him at different functions or around the holidays. I would say my homeboy Snoop can rap. You need to listen to him, and it was just
like going
okay.
on in one ear out the other. Like you never really had his attention.
Never.
Yeah. But you got to think, man.
Yeah.
everybody was probably coming at Dre.
Yeah.
And then with the family too, like, man, I
Yeah.
got a homeboy that can rap. I got,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
hear it. You
Because
know, we
I
hear it.
went through it. I know exactly what he went
Yeah,
through because I
man.
went
Now
through
you
it.
know.
Yeah.
Even more so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many times
Yeah.
do you think you told Dre, I got a homie named Snoop that can rap?
I probably told him a couple times. Probably a few times, and then you know he wasn't trying to hear it really. And Snoop would be talking shit like that nigga don't want to fuck with me and he'd be talking shit. But you know, like I said, I never gave up. You know, in L.A. Dre, it was his bachelor party. I chimed in with Dre. I hadn't talked to him in a while because I used to go hang out with him up at Audio Achievements during NWA, and you know, helping. You know, he let me do a skit on the Niggas for Life, and so I was hanging with the guys. So I called him like, man, I ain't seen you in a while. He was like, come up, I'm doing a bachelor party for L.A. Dre. So I came up there and went in, and L.A. Dre was in there playing music, and they had the nice females and shit. And they was playing the shit from like a little, like, I guess it was a radio, I guess you could say. But it was like it was like a little mini system. And I said, man, can you play this? And he was like, you know, because they was just playing the same music. So I was like, can you play this? And he was like, yeah, all right, I'll play it. So he popped it in and started playing that shit. And he was like, damn, this shit is dope. And he was like, have you let Dre hear this? He was like, who is this first? And I was like, that's me and my homeboy Snoop and one of my buddies, Nate. And he was like, have you played this shit for Dre? And I was like, nah, I haven't played it for him. So he went and got him and brought him over and let him hear it. And then he heard it. He was like, damn, that shit is dope. So he was like, damn. He was like, who was that? I said, it's me, Snoop, and Nate. I've been trying to tell you that, you know, we do music. And so he was like, shit. He was like, y'all come to the studio on Monday. And I was like, are you serious? He was like, yeah, come to the studio on Monday. So Snoop, you know, like I said, I was protective and didn't want him working with a lot of other guys besides our close family. So I was kind of pissed off at him because he was dipping and diving, fucking with other people, and it was kind of like separating our shit, you know, because they would take him away from us, from what we was doing. And he was recording records. He made some good records too with some of the other guys. So we was kind of going at it back and forth, and called him and was like, look, Dre wants us to come to the studio on Monday. Your nigga hung up on me, just on some, you know, to piss me off, because he knew how to piss me off. He hung the fucking phone up, so I was like, this motherfucker. So I called him back and I said, Snoop, let me call Dre. Called Dre on the three-way, clicked it over, and I said, Andre, would you let Snoop know that you want us to come to the studio on Monday? And he was like, yeah, I want you guys to come to the studio on Monday. He was like, who was this? He's like, this Dr. Dre. And he's like, this Dre? And he was like, got quiet. He was like, yeah, this Dre, I want y'all to come to the studio on Monday. Then he was just like, oh, okay, man, cool. All right, so we hung the phone up and was happy as, when I say happy, we got drunk. We was partying with our homegirls, the hood rats. Now, I ain't gonna call them hood rats, our homegirls. They was called the Big Posse. We partied with the Big Posse, our homeboys romping. You know, a lot of our friends and stuff like, nigga, we headed to the studio with Dre on Monday. And
you knew what it was, but didn't know what it was. But you knew that was something special.
It was special because we didn't. That was the biggest thing that happened to us. You know, everything else was just letdowns. Mm-hmm. You know, even I think Calvin from the VIP even took a demo to Interscope of Snoop, and they shot him down. Yeah, and that was huge for us, like
So did
huge.
y'all make it to the studio?
Yeah, yeah, we
Yeah.
made it to the studio. My homeboy, we jumped in his raggedy car, dipped to the studio,
Who's in
stopping
the
at
car?
every light. Me, Snoop, and Rump.
And why y'all stopping at every light?
You know,
The
that's
car ain't
how
working right.
the
Yeah, you
yeah
got
to
to put
go
it in
yeah.
neutral and shit.
We like the boom. And we rode from Long Beach to L.A. all the way up to Hollywood to
On the streets,
on the streets
can't do the
all the way
freeway.
up. We couldn't get on. We wasn't gonna take that chance.
Yeah.
So we went. All the way up, stopping at lights the whole night through everybody hood, the most notorious neighborhoods, all the way up to Hollywood, up to Solar Records. Walked in there and it was Dre and DOC, and we went straight to the vocal booth, and Dre had a beat that was so motherfucking dope. It was the Big Payback mixed with Hold On, boom 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 boom. The bit. It was dope. I can't even. I'm trying to get it all the way like I was hearing the sample, but I can't get it off top. But he did a song called "Gangsta's Life." That was really, it was a dope record. Just talking about his life.
And who's that?
Snoop.
So are you on the record with Snoop?
No, this was just Snoop.
He just heard Snoop's voice and heard something and said, "Bring that guy."
Yeah. It was Snoop by himself, and
Was there a pressure to that though? Like going in front of Dre, knowing what Dre already created, or do you understand the one shot?
he was nervous. We all, I mean, even though I've known him all my life, it was just nerve. We was nervous because now, you guys are you here, you in
Right.
front of one of the masters, and he's really working with your best friend, and it's like, shit, like it was like, damn.
Did you ever feel like Snoop was your artist? Like when you see him in
Yeah,
there by
pretty
himself,
much.
right? Yeah.
That as a producer and DJ, I was that he was mine. That's my artist. Like that's my guy. And but I wasn't tripping. I didn't care because my mentality was, if Snoop make it, I know he gonna look out for
he
me
on, we on.
regardless. And if Dre is my brother, I know he gonna look out. So I'm like, shit. I'm gonna just sit here and figure out my role.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I figured my role out.
What was your role?
My role was production, getting the records, going to shop for records, and putting samples together. That was my role. Still, I was Snoop and Dre DJ as well. We did shows. We did a show in the Hangar in Santa Monica one time. That was me back there DJing, mixing that shit up. Every chronic gin and tonic. It was some shit I found. I found it on the record now. Every chronic gin and tonic. Every chronic gin and tonic. Somebody got that on film too. It was at the Santa Monica hangars. Yeah.
So after y'all do that studio session, what happens after that? Because our introduction to Dre and Snoop, of course, if I'm not mistaken, is Deep Cover.
Yeah.
How long was Dre? You going in and you finding beats and samples and you're also in a position where it's teamwork.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. Oh, Dre, what about this?
Yes, indeed.
So you putting a lot of work into this. When does that introduction to Snoop and Dre, like when we hear Deep Cover, did you know that was coming? Were you in the studios with Deep Cover?
Definitely. I was there the whole step of the way. Because what we did, the backbone of it was done in Calabasas at the house
Dre's
we
house?
lived in.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But what the cool thing about it is after Snoop did the song, I'll say maybe about, we kept coming back and forth. So Dre was like, shit, why don't y'all just come stay with me? And then move up here so y'all ain't in the street and we can work. He said, I got a studio at home. And shit, we was like, hell yeah, let's go. And that's when everything started. Uh, actually, you know what? Let me see. It did start. We started working, doing like it wasn't a specific
Project.
project.
Yeah.
We were just doing music just to do it. Seeing what comes out, and Suge came into play, so we met Suge, and then was Suge, Dre, and
Because Dre is
DLC.
death row at this time, right?
Well, it wasn't
building?
Death Row.
Right,
It was called Future Shock. Yeah, it was called Future Shock, and Dick Griffey was the office upstairs. He was like the I guess like the record company, like lawyer, and so we met Suge. He came down. We met him. He was cool. Uh, him, DLC, and Dre, and we just started doing music, man. Just all the little ideas. We wasn't even working in the main studio at first, but he did that demo in the big studio, and we did a couple little things, and then we went down to the valley. That's where we like started.
Did you like Deep Cover when you first heard it? Could you
I
hear
love
it?
Deep Cover. That was just a doom doom boom boom doom boom boom boom, and then when he dropped them drums under that motherfucker, I was like, oh my god.
Did you have anything to do with Deep Cover
Nothing.
as a sound?
I had nothing to do with that. That was Dre did it, all of that right there in Calabasas. Then he, as it got bigger, well, with that to add more things to it. Then he went to the big studio.
Man, I remember talking with Dogg, and he was saying he thought that he was just gonna write some of Deep Cover.
Mm-hmm.
Then Dre was like, "No, you're gonna do it with me."
Yeah. Yeah.
What were you and Snoop's conversations then? Did you know, like, was it different conversations on We On?
Just happy.
Yeah.
Just happy.
And when Dre say move to Calabasas, are we talking about like a house in Calabasas with like no furniture or anything?
Yeah.
You know how motherfuckers
we moved to. He didn't have no furniture.
Yeah,
It wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot. But we didn't care. Shit, we
Yeah.
slept on the floor. That was comfortable enough. We was used to that.
Yeah, at the house, like shit.
Yeah, we was used to that being on the spot. We used to sleep on the floor, but
It's-
to be on some comfortable floor,
Yeah,
a little fluffy.
And you can have your own floor, and I can have my own floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you it's really crazy because you're paying once again tuition to the school of experience,
Yeah.
not knowing
Yeah.
what this thing is going to create. Even when I say, "Oh yeah, Death Row," you're like, it wasn't even Death Row then.
Yeah, it was Future Shock.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And watching these pieces get together. When Deep Cover hit, that motherfucker hit hard.
Hard.
And
I
this
was
is like, these are the kids from Compton, the kids from Long Beach, and now the world. That's our introduction to Dogg. Dogg is
Yeah.
shy at the time. He's not looking in the camera, but
yeah.
he got this.
Yeah.
He got this oomph, this thing that's going on. Yeah. And you can see the innocence and the naivete and, him being new to it.
Yeah.
Where does that record
still
take you
do
to?
that
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, but now Dogg looking at the camera,
Yeah.
But where does that take you to?
I mean, shit. It was just. Well, it took him and Dre. They took off.
Yeah.
And it just. For myself, it just made. I just felt so good because I'm like, we made it. Like I made it because they made it.
And you
know what I
DJing
mean?
still?
I was DJing
with them.
Yeah.
So the Chronic is like a family affair. It's like everybody's living together, everybody's working together.
Yeah.
Explain what that time is.
Well, me, Snoop, and Dre and DLC, we all was pretty much like the guys living up here. And what we would do is we would go. Let me take that back. It all started, just like I said, in the house in Calabasas. Everything that we was doing started in Calabasas. So we did G-Thing. That record was so dope. That's what was like Dre was like, oh, we need to do a motherfucking album.
Oh, so G Thing sparked a project
Yeah, G Thing,
called The Chronic.
Deep Cover
Yeah.
blew the shit out the water, blew them up. And then G Thing, when we did that, that was a record that was like, oh, this motherfucker right here, this gonna take over everything. Like,
So when G Thing was that built The Chronic, is it the same G Thing that we started to hear?
that's the same G Thing. It's been the same from the start. It's
So
been the
y'all
same.
hear G Thing, the riots go down, it changes the feeling of what this project is going to be.
Yeah, yeah. So that's Ain't No Fun came from the riots. Little Ghetto Boy came from the riots. All of this stuff came from that whole time frame.
So how is Daz there? How's Corrupt there?
Yeah. So this is how the team started getting built. We had Snoop, DLC was there, Jewel was there, and Rage. I think Rage was there, but Rage had started. Rage wasn't there in the beginning, but Dre had always loved Rage, and Dre, Suge, and them, they had some type of connection with Rage to where they had brought her in. But it used to be me, Snoop, Dre, DOC in the beginning. So me and Snoop at that time, even though they had like Deep Cover, Cracking, that shit was huge, me and Snoop would still go to like the Roxy to see the talent shows and all that stuff. So we was at the Roxy one time, and Snoop was there. It was a bunch of guys we knew there that was dope, bussing. So it was this girl was like, my homeboy is the tightest out here right now, in California, no matter what. And everybody was like, nah, he the tightest out here in California right now. And that was Diamond. And she said, my homeboy Corrupt, she kept saying it, like, my homeboy Corrupt will serve anybody out here. So we was like, what's up? She was like, what's up? So we outside the Roxy, took it right outside, formed a little circle. Snoop got on one knee, Corrupt got on one knee, and they started going at it. That nigga Corrupt was hard.
Yeah, and Snoop got Deep Cover already.
Yeah.
But he coming down and still sharpening up his skill.
Yeah.
And you said Corrupt was hard.
That nigga was hard. but Snoop was hard too.
Yeah.
Shit, they was busting.
So you're there that night? You're
Yeah,
seeing this?
I'm right in the middle. Cause my thing was, anytime Snoop battle, I point at something just to show him how dope Snoop is. I'll be like, Snoop. And I point at something,
freestyling.
and he busting. He'd just do. He start he'd break it down. And this nigga Corrupt took the shit that I was doing with Snoop, and he said, you got a pinky ring on your finger, and that is true. But if you look at mine, I got one too, because he had a pinky ring finger on too. A pinky, did I say that right?
Yeah. A pinky ring.
A pinky
on
ring on his finger.
Yeah.
And he had the pinky ring on his finger, and he said that is true. But if he said, you got a pinky ring on your finger, and that is true. But if you look at mine, I got one too. And we was like, oh shit. And Snoop started busting back. Just start busting. So they going back and forth, and we couldn't get no winner. It was just ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, to where they had to break it up. They broke it up, and when they broke it up, I was like, hey, give me your number. So I got his number.
Jesus Christ.
Got Corrupt's number. Wrote that motherfucker down. Wrote it down, and I called him probably about a week or two later, and I said, man, come up to the Calabasas. We got a studio up there. I want to do a demo on you. So he came up there, and I put some samples together. And the crazy thing about it is that the the cassette deck, excuse me, the cassette deck was routed into the board, and the MPC was routed into the board as well, to where I could get levels into the cassette deck. So I would record. That was my tape machine. The cassette.
This some producer out your
It is
extraordinary.
Look, that was my machine, the cassette deck. I'd hit record. You only got one take to knock it down. And they used to, Snoop and Corrupt, they used to, when I would record them like that, they practice their shit all the way down in one take, because you on a cassette deck.
Yeah.
Boop, hit that motherfucker and go. And
Bro, you
so
like
I recorded.
A&R, manager, producer,
Security,
DJ,
every
yeah.
goddamn thing.
It's crazy, because
record-
what if you didn't get Corrupt's number? You know, and down the road,
He
y'all probably
probably,
would've seen each other again,
they probably
but
would have
what
bumped
if?
heads, but they'd have been going at it.
Yeah.
So I did the songs for him. Let Dre and Suge hear it. They was like, this nigga is dope. We need to sign him. They said that the first day, we got to sign him. And from that point, Broomfield, they was Corrupt managers then. Broomfield and them was just keeping it, start negotiating with Suge and Dre and them, and boom, Death Row signed him. Mm-hmm.
And that's another
And
find.
that was one of the pieces that came in. So now you got Snoop and Corrupt, and then Snoop started bringing Daz around. So, cause Snoop lived with Daz and his cousin DeAndre down on the east side for a little bit when we was kind of on the street a little bit, and he would go back down there from Dre's every now and then just to go hang down there with DeAndre now, and so Daz started coming around, and Daz was always rapping. He was rapping too, and those two pieces that came in, and then we in there working, just doing shit, just writing. Jewel was in there, Rage it came on. Then Nate started coming. We brought Nate in, and then Nate actually started coming back with us to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Up moving up. He kind of moved in with us in Calabasas, and so the team was pretty much built. So what we would do is us up here would go and Corrupt and Daz off. We'd all meet at the Solar early in the morning, and we'd just sit in that Solar with Dre just all motherfucking day, just working, just coming up with ideas and just doing shit.
Was that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then RBX came in.
Right.
Snoop was like, I got a cousin that's hard in the motherfucker. We need to bring him in.
Well, my man said you can't cross out an X. I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
His voice, delivery.
Yeah.
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 So when does Ain't No Fun get recorded as a group record?
Ain't No
That's
Fun.
still an anthem to this day.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. Ain't No Fun came. That was after, we had the Chronic cracking. That, like I said, that whole era, the riots, that all inspired the Chronic on into Doggy Style. So, we still had that same energy and motion going into Snoop's record. And I just happened to walk in the studio one day. That's when I had Endo Smoke out.
Yeah.
So I had a little buzz.
Man, I can't do it. We
with
got
Paul
and we can't pass that up, bro.
Nah,
So when we think about Paul Stewart, DJP,
yeah.
John Singleton,
Mm-hmm.
a label that's going down.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard Endo Smoke was
Oh, yeah.
Paul Stewart playing that for me.
Yeah.
And that's when I was hooking up the phones and we met back then.
Yes.
So
indeed.
how does Endo Smoke start for you with Mr. Grimm?
Well, around that time, I was kind of like, I wasn't with Death Row or
Right.
nothing like that. I was out on my own, doing my own thing, wasn't working over here like it was supposed to. So I just eased on and just started doing my own thing. And I was trying to build another team that I could work with and feel good with, because I wasn't with none of my guys that I love. So I got to go over here and try to create some more friends. But I still would come around. so I started messing with Mr. Zagu and Mr. Graham. They was a group. Uh, and Nate, we just started. I just used to record records with them, trying to build a family.
Yeah,
So
because you knew how to build anyway.
yeah,
And I mean, without all the credit and not taking anything away from anyone, but you built a family or helped build a family
yeah,
with what was going down.
yeah.
I do want to reverse a little bit and back up to what that felt like, because at one point you're helping put together this thing called Death Row. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of talent there. You got your hands in on one of the biggest ones that you brought with Snoop.
Yeah.
Why weren't you signed to Death Row?
I have no idea. I guess Suge wasn't fucking with me.
Because
I
was
think
everybody else
he
signed?
was pissed off at me because I told Snoop, I told Rage, I told everybody that got a contract, even myself. We had contracts, and I was like, we need to get a lawyer to look at these contracts. We can't just sign this shit. We got to get it looked at. You don't know what you signing for. So
But you had a contract.
I had a contract.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like you weren't signed. It's just that once you tried to alert, it
Yeah,
was like, man,
about the business, and I pretty much got that from Tribe Called Quest.
industry rule.
3008.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
The record company
4080.
people are shady, so kids watch your back. 'Cause
I don't doubt it.
Look at how they act.
Yeah. Hip hop
That-
teaching, edutainment, huh? Edutainment, bro.
Taught
So
me.
you say that, and your
Yeah.
contract is there's no signature because there's no contract.
No lawyer.
Yeah.
No lawyer, no contract. And I told Snoop and I told everybody. And one of the persons that a
As
good
you refer
friend,
to it, one of your constituents.
yeah, one of my constituents,
Yeah, man.
when told Suge that I told him not to sign the contract, so he got pissed off, tripping. He grabbed me up, had me on the wall. It wasn't like choking me or anything like that. He just had me because he's big and strong, so I couldn't hardly get away. But I still was talking shit, and I think that might be what set it off as far as me not being signed there, and I just wasn't taking no bullshit.
Yeah, I remember you said when he had you kind of hemmed up, you was like, man, you said you was trying to make it to that elevator, go get your shit up.
Oh my God, I was trying to get away, because I'm like shit, I was trying to get away.
But this is like, and you got to paint the picture. This is a nation of homies that's there too. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you said, you got to that elevator, it was like,
I can't get down because that was only one way down, and the elevator almost got to me, and he came storming out, caught my ass before I could get on the elevator, and shit, I was just like, man, you better get your hands off me. I told him just like that, you better get your hands off me. I'm calling all my homeboys, and my other little homeboy Cisco was with me. Luckily, he didn't have nothing on him because he's a gunner.
That one.
He's a gunner. He would have blasted up in there, and I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want that to happen because I known this dude. You know what I'm saying? I known him like from the NWA days, so I was pretty much a pup. Known him from a pup all the way up. But
so when you leave Death Row that day, do you know that your situation's changed? Or are you still coming around?
I was still coming around.
Yeah.
I was still coming around. When I noticed it change is when the tour started, the Chronic tour. I just knew I was getting ready to go on that motherfucker. And got to the airport, I didn't have no plane ticket or anything with my name on it to go. It was me and Breeze will tell you. Remember Breeze? It was me, Breeze, and Samara. Cause I had
Is
to
that
ask.
Breeze, LA Posse Breeze?
LA Posse Breeze. It was me,
yeah.
Breeze, and Samara, and I asked Samara to could she give me a ride? They gave me a ride
To the airport?
home.
So you get to the airport, Warren,
Uh,
and everybody else is there? Do you
ev-
see everybody?
I didn't see everybody. I came, you know, Snoop and all, everybody, they was going, and I ain't got no ticket. I didn't have a ticket. Everybody else had a
But you
ticket.
saw them
Snoop,
at the
yeah,
airport?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
They had tickets, and it's like, damn, where's my shit at? Uh, he ain't got no ticket. So I was like, damn.
So
The
that's how you
fuck?
find out? So
Yeah,
immediately you have to go home?
I went straight to Long Beach. Yeah. I take that back. I got all my stuff, and at that time we wasn't living with Dre. I was uh, with Snoop pretty much on in Hollywood around that time. We stayed in an apartment together with Sharitha, and then we stayed, and Snoop had his own apartment, so I would be over there in Snoop's apartment with him. I was just everywhere he moved, I moved, um, and I just got my stuff. I got my drum machine, my records, uh, and all my stuff, and just went to Long Beach and just started trying to do new music. So that's when I started moving around and got with Mr. Graham and met him.
Was
I
that
can't even remember how I met Mr. Graham. I
was
got
that
all.
hurtful though, bro? Like, cause you know, I've been even before radio. I've been on tours,
Hmm.
and that whole lead up, where y'all talking about it and how much fun it was gonna be,
Yeah, all that shit.
and you
You
had
know,
no idea till you got to the airport.
I didn't have no idea that I was going until I got to the airport.
What did you feel about the ones that went?
I was like, shit, they getting ready to go have a goddamn ball, and I'm asked.
Did anybody say what about Warren?
Not if they did, I didn't know it.
Right,
You
and
know
you
what I
didn't put him
mean?
in that position either.
I'm sure
Oh
Snoop
yeah.
probably said something. Um,
What's
it
your
was just.
conversations like when
Uh,
everybody's on the road? Are you still checking in, or did you just detach?
uh, I kind of detached and just started doing my own thing. But when they came back and they was back around, then I would pop up. You know, I pop up at the studios, into the sessions, and just hang out. You know, just then when it's over with, I'd leave and go. You know, because they were still
Yeah,
my guys. You know, um,
but I
it was a
remember.
fucked up. It was a very, very low point in my life for real, because I didn't have nothing. I mean, I didn't have shit. But you know, what did save me is DOC, Rodney G, and MC Breed. They looked out for me by letting me produce. You got to get yours, I got to get mine. That helped me a lot, and that also gave me the money to be able to do Endo Smoke, to get records to do Endo Smoke. It wasn't a lot of money. It was
Right.
like $8,000, but back then $8,000 was pretty cool. You know, I was able to buy me a little bucket, and I could move around now. Yeah,
But
when
you
I
came
had that
back
cell
because
phone.
you had put so much in. You
Hmm.
came back to almost.
Hmm.
Would you
Hmm.
say nothing?
I didn't have shit until I did that. I didn't have shit.
Where were you staying at? Cause I
My
know.
sister,
Yeah,
I
and
was
you said you was
living.
at the.
She lived on Cedar in Long Beach, and in her apartment, I stayed and slept on the floor of her apartment. I had my crates, my MPC 60. Uh, I had what a damn was. I had my drum machine, my records, and my MPC 60, and that's all I had. And every morning, I'd crack open my MPC 60, grab my records, and just start listening to shit, trying to find new sounds or a new piece in a sample or something. Just doing beats in my headphones with the disc
At your
on the
sister's
floor at my
crib.
sister's house. Yeah, and
Man, did you think it? Not that it was over, but you said it
mhm,
was at a low. Did you see
yeah.
something bigger coming, or it was like, man, this shit is as
Uh,
fucking big as it gets?
I knew that I could uh, find somewhere to start being able to do what I love.
Were
Like,
you mad or bitter,
uh,
or were you more Is it anger or
I
is it
wasn't
like,
even
damn?
bitter. I wasn't even mad or bitter. I was just like hurt because
Yeah.
I love these niggas. These is my guys. Not on some weird shit, but just like y'all my brothers. Like this, like that's like
Had you ever experienced a tour before that?
no, never.
Oh, so this
I
was it.
actually I take that back. That's probably why I was extra crushed because I had a chance to
You
go to
taste.
some of. I used to taste some of the NWA
Yeah. Oh,
days.
so you was like, oh, this is us. And all the
Wow.
homies.
Yeah, they was
Did the
having a.
twins go?
No, the twins didn't go.
Daz and Corrupt go?
Daz and Corrupt went. Snoop, Daz Corrupt. I'm not sure if RBX went. I think Rage went. Jewel went.
Mm.
Um, our whole crew. I don't think Nate went. I don't think Nate went. I'm not
So,
sure. I don't know. Nate might have went. Yeah, Nate did go. Nate, wait, did Nate go? No, I don't think Nate. I don't know if Nate went or not.
but you know you got to
No,
rebuild.
yeah,
And
yeah.
almost like you're
No, Nate
forced.
didn't go because I was working with him.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
because
yeah,
y'all, now y'all at the
yeah,
crib
yeah,
building.
yeah,
You
yeah.
ever, did you ever know why Nate didn't go?
He wasn't like signed or
Okay,
anything. Nate
okay.
was just around putting in work. So he wasn't official until I did endo smoking, and that's when
Hmm.
you know shit.
So when you do
Hmm.
endo smoke is yours.
Hmm.
You got Mr. Grimm.
Hmm.
That shit take flight. Do you feel like I'm back in now? Not
Uh,
how I want to be, not with the fellas, but I'm back
yeah, I
in.
was back.
Yeah,
Made me some money.
yeah, man.
Uh, and everything felt good. You know, it wasn't. It was money, but I think I got maybe like $25,000 or
Hmm.
something like that.
Hey, man. So when you hear people that's familiar with endo smoke, right?
Hmm.
Endo smoke was billed as a Mr. Grimm record,
Yeah.
pretty much. But you're on this record,
Well, it was
and
my record,
yeah,
but I put him on the record. You know, I put him on the record, just trying to help him. At the
Hmm.
same time, I knew that if one of us, they gonna
The
like,
same thing.
you
Like
know,
if
yeah,
one you take me, if I go, I take you.
yes,
So
indeed,
you've seen this formula before.
yeah,
So what
yeah.
happens with endo smoke?
Uh,
Do they hear
it blew
you?
up. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody was loving my parts on there, and loving Graham too. It was the record. It
Oh
went
yeah,
gold.
I
You
remember
know,
it
it went
very
gold.
well,
So it
bro.
was like, wow. And the record company started tapping in, and Paul and them would call me because I was a producer, and I, pretty much was like the lead on everything. And Mr. Green was pretty much my artist.
Hmm.
And so when I took the meeting with Def Jam, and for them to say, we want the guy that's got the little melody to him that's singing and shit, and I was like, I went crazy, like that's me. Uh, that shit right there, the feeling I got was just like incredible. And then Lior, Tracy Waples, and Chris Lighty flew down, and they took me to a big time steakhouse. They had a car come pick me up. All this shit, I was like, oh, I
So
am the
when they
man.
hear endo smoke, when they start talking about the
Hmm.
parts that they love,
Yeah,
you like,
that's me.
yeah.
I'm telling you, because they was like, we want the guy that got the melody and the da da da. I said, so y'all don't want the guy that started off. No, we want the other guy. I said, that's me.
Hmm.
I
You like
said,
one
I
puff,
hollered
two
right at
puff, three
Paul and
puff,
tell you. I
four
said,
puff.
that's me. Yeah, that's me. I'm right here.
And so when you get that, now it's like, we thinking of West Coast, we thinking of Death Row, we thinking, now it's like Def Jam.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
And
like,
Def
shit,
Jam is
it's
known
on.
as,
Yeah,
East Coast label. But even when you were talking earlier about certain things that you would listen to, Def Jam
yeah,
was an imprint
yeah,
and a
yeah.
blueprint for hip hop.
Yes, indeed.
So now you go to Def Jam, and who else was from the West Coast on Def Jam?
Uh, Around that time, I think
Okay,
Domino may have been the first with Ghetto Jam
yeah, here we go. Yeah,
through Greedy Greg. I think it was Greedy Greg then, but somehow Harry O was connected to that to the Ghetto Jam with Greedy
Oh,
Greg
shit.
and them with that. So Domino was at Def Jam first. If I'm not mistaken, he was there first, and then I came right after Ghetto Jam.
It's crazy, man,
Yeah.
because not you saying it, but people would say that Warren G saved Def Jam.
Yeah.
Because Def Jam, you know, they had a great roster, and then there was things that came after you
Yeah.
that put Def Jam like really on, you know, the
Yeah.
DMXs of the world, so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
but I'm talking about at a time
Yeah.
when you went there, a lot of focus went back to Def Jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did the West Coast, or how did anyone feel about you signing with, and not the West Coast, but how did any of your peers feel with you signing with? Damn, it's not Death Row, it's Def Jam.
They was like, nigga.
Do it.
Yeah, they was like, that's huge.
Did you feel like you had something to prove?
Uh,
If not to them, to you, or to anyone?
well, I had to show everybody that I wasn't just a waste of talent. You know, I had to show them that I'm dope too. You know, I'm dope just like Dre. I'm dope just like Snoop. I make good music too. But like I said, I wasn't bitter or trying to
Right,
compete
right.
or any of that
You
stuff.
just had to do you.
Yeah, I just had to do me, and by me getting signed to Def Jam, that shit, I had to think about it. It was like Crush Groove, this, that, and this. I was like,
Yeah, you
oh,
said that.
And
Did you feel lonely over there?
nah,
Gotcha.
nah, I had some of the most fun times of my life. You know, being on Def Jam, and they embraced me. This how they did it. When I got there, I was kind of scared to go by myself. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, I don't know where I'm going. I ain't never been to New York. So I asked the twins to go with
Right.
me. You know, I bought them plane tickets, got fresh outfits, everything. Let's go. So we got on the plane and got there. I think it was that night. Yeah, we got there that night because I remember it was off of 47th and 7th at the Doubletree Suites. And we woke up to the smell of bomb-ass breakfast coming through the vents out there. And I got a call. The front desk was like, you have a call. So I said, put it through. And then when the call came through, he said, this is LL. So I'm like, LL? Like, LL who? He was like, this LL Cool J. And I'm like, this ain't LL Cool J. I didn't hang up on it.
Dr. Dre.
He said, yo, he started talking, yo, this is LL. And da-da-da. He like, you know, he was like, this Warren G. And I said, yeah. He said, man, he said, look, I came over to come, you know, show you around out here in New York and da-da-da-da-da. I said,
And
man, give me about 5-10 minutes. I said, Dwayne, Dion didn't wake up, so Dwayne came with me. I said, man, LL Cool J downstairs, come with me, come on. Threw our clothes on, jumped down, walked out, and it was him.
And that's the architect
The architect.
of Def Jam.
Yeah, the head honcho. And jumped in the car with him, and he took us to Queens. He took us shopping. He took us to his house, showed us the basement. This nigga had so many clothes. I ain't never seen that many clothes in my life. Like from the top of the stairs, just all the way down to the basement, and went all the way down around this side. It was clothes. And he showed us that. He said, this is where I used to write my lyrics at, right down here in the basement, here in my grandmother's house.
Oh, shit.
And
it's like a museum.
yeah, he showed us the green sidekick from Tina Got a Big Old Butt. It was sitting right there. It was dusty, but it was right there.
Bro, so you knowing now, like,
Yeah.
and this is all about you now, though.
Yeah, and
You know
I
what I'm
was a
saying?
mega fan. Like, just to be in front of this dude was like,
Did you record in New York, or were you recording in
I
LA?
recorded home at my house, my apartment right on Long Beach Boulevard in San Antonio.
What came out of there?
Regulate. It, like, all of my records came out of there. All of them came out of there. They got mixed elsewhere, but they all
Take me through
came.
Regulate, bro.
It started out as like
It was a clear.
on the weekends.
I thought it was a clear dark night. No.
It started out just me, I just doing what I do, searching for records, uh, moving around the city. So it was kind of late in the evening. So I was on my way home. So I went by Roscoe's to get a bite. Seen this dude out there selling incense and selling records and shit for $1. So I told him, man, I want to buy your whole crate of records. So I gave him like $500, took the whole crate, went home and just started digging. Just started digging and digging and digging, and that's where I found the. I keep forgetting it was Michael McDonald, and it was I keep forgetting. Was it a single? I think it might have been the single. I don't even think it was the.
Because you probably wouldn't have skipped through a whole album. Or
Yeah,
would you?
I think it was the single. No. That was the album. It was Michael McDonald's. It was the album, and cause when I first heard it, doom, 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 boom, I said, oh my God, if I sample this and rap on this would be way different from what anybody doing. And I sampled that mug. I just sampled it and I just started building it slowly, just went step by step. I came with my kick right up under it. Then I added an 808 kick right up to match with my kick. Then started doing my hi-hats and snares.
So you building this.
Yeah, I built it, just constantly built it after I pieced it together. Because I had to piece that like one pad, boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. I had to keep hitting the pads. and I put it together, and I what we used to do was do introductions on records. So I wanted to do an introduction, and I don't know how the fuck regulate came to my mind, but we used to always say things like, let's regulate the scene, let's regulate, hey, regulate them broads over here, or you got to regulate that. That was our word at the time. And so I was like, let me come up with a title that's talking about something that we like a name or something. So I said regulate, and I had started calling it regulate before anything else. I named the beat, and that's what I was gonna name that song. I said this is gonna be called regulate. So watching movies, and I always watch the same movies over and over again. Maybe Weird Science, Young Guns, and all that stuff. 16 Candles.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching Young Guns, and the dude said, we work for Mr. Tansdale as regulators. When he said that, I started looking at the numbers on the VCR. So I started following the numbers. I followed the numbers all the way down. So what I did was, once I followed it to where it stopped, and I heard all the stuff in there, we regulate for and we regulate, and we're damn good too. I pieced all that together. It's really long, that whole scene.
Jesus Christ.
And he say stuff, you'd be like, oh damn, he really pieced it together. I took this little piece, that little piece, that little piece, and that little piece, and I came out of my VCA. I'm sorry, I came out of my VCR, uh, RCA jacks to quarter inch into the MPC 60. I looked at my numbers. I hit the play on the remote, and it started playing, and I just hit the record button on each one of those parts. I would stop it,
Oh my God.
boom, and hit each part, boom, and sample each part. And once I sampled it, and I truncated everything and put that stuff together, I was like, this shit
Were
is
you
hard.
building this by yourself? Did Nate not know
I was
what you were
all by
building?
myself. Nate he wasn't even there. I called Nate. I said, Nate, I got a dope ass beat I want you to get on. I said, let's do a song like how Snoop and Dre did G Thing. Let's do one where we're going back and forth. And so he was like, all right, I'm on my way. So Nate came. We was in there. We was drinking Hennessy, smoking bud. Boom, I started playing Regulate. I was like, nigga, this shit is hard. Like, he was like, this is dope. So we just sitting there bouncing. And he like, shit, he said, set it off. Like, go ahead and set it off, Warren. So I was like, I was kind of stuck. I didn't even really know what to start writing. So I just off the top, it was a clear black night. Because I used to try to, and I'm not going to lie, RBX inspired me a lot too. And you can hear it. Because I said, it was a clear black night. You know,
Right.
RBX be like, RBX. So I was like, it was a clear black night. A clear white moon Warren G was on the streets trying to consume some skirts for the eve so I could get some phones, rolling in my ride, chilling all alone. I went from the RBX type thing down to Sir Cool. And Nate just went off of what I said. I freestyled that shit. I swear to God. And then Nate just went right off of that. And that's what gave me the power to start jotting down, going off of what Nate said. Because where he ended at, if you listen, I'll continue with a story within that.
So yeah.
Yeah. And because he said we was out looking for some women. Because that's what, when I say phones, people say they think I'm saying funk.
Phone. What they think?
They think I'm saying funk.
Right.
But I'm saying looking for, trying to get some phones.
Yeah. Like
I
some
mean
numbers?
headphones.
Oh.
We called
headphones. Oh,
we called getting some headphones.
Trying to get some phones. 30 years later. I had no idea, bro. Like, and I'm telling you, all this time that I've heard Regulate, as many times I played it, as many interviews we had, bro, I never knew that when you say trying to get some phones, I'm thinking phone. Oh, like, man, we rolling out with some females. We trying to get some phone numbers.
Trying to get some head.
Right.
Headphones.
That's fucking genius, bro.
Yeah.
So when you and Nate are building this song, you already knew it felt different as soon as you heard the sample. You already knew something.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Because nobody was doing anything like that. Not over that kind of music.
And then when Nate come by, he hears it. You say, man, let's do the G thing, Dre and Snoop thing. Let's go back and forth. You know you're creating magic.
Yeah.
When you finish, are y'all doing that in your apartment?
We did it right in my apartment.
In one night?
Yeah, it was one night.
And then y'all gotta take
shit
it
everywhere, all kind of shit on the floor. I didn't have no furniture. I had money, but didn't have no furniture. I had an empty living room. I only had a bedroom. I had the bed. That's what we recorded. In the bedroom, in the bathroom, in the bedroom was the vocal booth. Did all
so
that
you
shit.
creating history, platinum, in an apartment with dog shit on the floor.
Dog shit on the floor.
No furniture.
No furniture.
Only a bedroom. And is the bathroom the vocal booth?
Bathroom is the vocal booth. Yeah.
So when you finish that night and you're playing it back and you're building this song, what did that feel like?
Shit. I can't even explain the feeling because
You knew
I had it's like one of those butterflies on your arms and like the
goosebumps. Hell yeah.
I got the goosebumps. I got every feeling you can imagine that feel good. Like
you knew you tapped into something.
Yeah. I knew.
Were
that
you
record
anxious
was
to play it for people, or did you hold back?
I was anxious, so what I did, first thing I did was run over to all my homeboys. Well, my wife, her brother, Kenny Mack, and all of them. I used to go over there. They used to be our testers because they let us know if it's dope or not. So that was our crew. No matter if it was me, Snoop, all of us, we used to test our music with our homeboys because they gonna tell us the truth. So went over there, let them hear it. Them niggas was like, they was like, Warren, that shit is hard. Like that shit, that's harder than anything out. Like that's what they was saying. They was like, this is dope.
And is that the Regulate we hear now? Like nothing was changed up too much, or
nothing was changed. Same one.
Did you play it for Snoop? Or did he hear it later?
I play it for? Well, Snoop probably heard it later.
Right. What about Dre?
I played it for Dre. He heard it.
Did Dre not like that one?
He wasn't into it. He wasn't into it. He was bodyguard hard. I ain't gonna lie.
He couldn't hear it, huh?
He couldn't hear
But
it.
you just had this feeling. When Dre told you
Yeah.
that he couldn't hear it, does that knock you down, or do you say no?
No. I was like, shit. I don't know what this motherfucker dope. I don't care what the fuck Dre talking about. This motherfucker's hard.
So where do you take
But
it
his
to?
homeboy.
Oh.
His homeboy was like, nigga, this shit is hard as fuck. Let me take this to Jimmy, Mike Lynn.
And they try to take it to Jimmy Iovine?
He took it to Jimmy.
And then what? It gets placement?
Just like Endo Smoke happened where they called me and said, this is the first single for Poetic Justice. Jimmy called and had them call me and say, this is the first single for Above the Rim soundtrack, hands down.
So when you know you got placement on Above the Rim, are you thinking like, man, this is Interscope, this is Def Jam, this is, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happens with the bounce around?
That's when all of, like, that's kind of like, I mean, mind you, I'm still working on my album. I'm still doing records. I'm doing all my shit. And this got placed while I was working, for the Above the Rim while I was working. And by the time that the steam went down on that record, I was finished with my record. So what Def Jam did, and I think this is why Suge was so pissed off, is that they took even though we used a record label was pushing Above the Rim, we did a whole new photo shoot, a whole new everything, packaged everything, and we released that shit like it was a brand new single again. And it was kind of, that motherfucker took off again. Bam! But it still was, the steam was off of that still, but that was like, oh shit. Boom, that shit blew up. My album sold almost 4 million records off of that. After this one sold 4 million records, this one sold 4 million records.
Did that create a funk, though? No pun intended.
Well, I think that's what caused that. I think that's what it did. That would cause it because Suge didn't like Leor. I don't think he ever liked Leor, even though he had to function with him. Because Leor came down to the What's My Name video shoot.
Oh shit.
Yeah. He was scared.
Right.
Suge he was there, Suge, but Suge wasn't tripping then. But I think that this happened later on. That was around when I got signed, when Leor came down, because Snoop put me in the video with him. He was like, Warren, I want you to get in my video, my first single. And Leor came down while I was there, and he was scared. Hell yeah. But when that happened, I think that's what really set it off to where he was like, oh, these motherfuckers, they got me. And they got a guy I should have had over here.
But you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
You were there, man. How did that feel, Warren, that it was you? Like you on, and your name is on the marquee, and your name is on the album that's selling millions of copies.
It felt incredible.
And you're in the front, though. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a position that it felt like you would play. But now it's like...
Yeah, I was on the same level. Like, me and Snoop was on the same level. Me, Snoop, and Dre was all on the same level. Man, it was cracking.
Are you shy?
A little bit.
Are you reserved, shy?
A little bit. Yeah.
Like, you don't seem like limelight.
I mean...
You don't
every now and then I like to turn up.
You know how to.
Yeah, I like to turn up, and have fun. But most of the time, I just like to I'm more of a listener, and I like to sit in the cut and just like.
Where did Regulate in that album? Where did that take you to, bro?
Man.
It got you out the country.
It got me out the country.
Got you on TV, radio, video, visual. People knew who you were.
Yeah.
Was that crazy to you? That people knew who you were outside of Long Beach, or just outside, period? Like, around the world.
Yeah, it took me to just like I said, the feeling was just incredible, man. it just took me to a space to where I could finally say I feel good, I'm happy, I done made it. I done finally made it. I got a record out that's platinum, selling platinum more, selling this much every week. I just felt
Did you ever
just so
doubt yourself?
happy. Uh, I never doubted myself.
But you
I
were down.
just just from like different letdowns had me
Yeah.
like kind of
Yeah.
like damn shit I or this that but like I said, a feeling built up in me to where it was like, you know what, anything, it was like anything uh that 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 I don't want to say against me, uh it just made me work harder. Like anything that I would go through would just make me work harder because I wanted to feel good and I wanted to be better,
Right.
better and better.
Did you ever feel depression? Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I felt a lot of depression, even when I was doing my thing, because at the same time I'm enjoying all of this success, but I can't enjoy it with you guys,
Yeah.
you know, until later on, like Dre got in the Do You See video. Um, you know, Snoop came and supported me at like my video shoots. Um, just we just used
Did
to
you ever feel
function.
like it was a "don't fuck with him" vibe coming from Death Row?
Nah,
Okay.
no, we was always functioning, even though that shit was going on.
Right. Right. Right.
When I did endo smoking all that shit, I was right over there, dipping right not too far, Culver City to his apartment. Boop, pull over right there with Snoop at during the murder case shit. But
Yeah.
I and that shit was crazy because Snoop used to call me every day like, Warren, it's this dude that's coming up to the gas station every time. Whenever I pull in the gas station or he coming to in front of my apartment, he threatening me, Warren, like every day. So I'm like, I'm ready to trip. I'm like, fuck that. What's happening? He's like, nah, I said, just go home, man. Don't go up there no more. Don't go around that shit. He's like, I gotta get gas. I live right here. And he would cry. Like, he was so mad that he would cry like this dude, and he pulled a gun on me and this, that, and this. And he's like, he keep like taunting him like, nigga, that kind of shit. Like, and I was crushed. I was just like, nigga, what's up? Like, he was like, nah, well, just don't worry about it. And I kept telling him, well, go home. You gotta move. I told him, you gotta move.
Right.
And he was just about to move when all that shit happened. He was just getting ready to move.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Because
Yeah.
I knew Philip.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew Philip. I knew
He was
Vinton. I knew the
tripping.
streets. I knew the park. I knew
Yeah,
everything.
he was tripping. He
Yeah.
was tripping on Snoop heavy.
When Dog caught that murder case, did you think like, man, this is a long one?
I felt terrible.
Yeah, man.
Like, I talk to this dude every day. We talk every day. Like this, if you see him somewhere, you gonna see me. If you see me somewhere, you gonna see him. Everywhere. That's how we was every morning. What's up? What's up? All right, I'm on my way. Boom, boom, boom. You know, that's just how tight we was, and just to see him go through that situation with that murder was just, it was horrible. Like everything, like it just felt like it was the end of our, like, I was even like, I don't even know how I'm gonna even function, like, with my homeboy being gone in jail for murder. That's just crazy.
Did that put a different battery in your back though when the clearance come and
Yeah.
it make you work different and appreciate it a little different too though, huh?
Yeah. I was supporting him the whole time, and wanted to be there with him the whole time, but I came up there and them niggas tried to jump on me. The death row guys.
When you go to try to support your partner.
Yeah, trying to go to the court. I get out the car, niggas start tripping like, nigga, what you doing up here? Nigga, like, so I told my girl, I said, look, pull up a little bit. and keep the car running. Cause if I'm gonna break, and I'm gonna have to jump in the car, which we're gonna have to speed up. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I was strapped, but that kind of pissed me off, you know. And Snoop probably didn't even know this shit was going on. I never said nothing to him about it, but them niggas was tripping on me every time I came to the court thing. Was trying to trip on me, and I was
man, people
pissed.
didn't know how real those times were too.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because not even dealing with certain things, you know,
yeah,
it was just a vibe and a feeling
yeah,
that came with it. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
And it all, you know, it all wasn't great.
No,
You know what I mean?
no.
And so for you to just say, man, I'll deal with it just enough. And it's crazy because any one of us are grown men.
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
could have fucked it off.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could have got
And
ugly.
yeah, and rightfully
Yeah.
so, bro. So when you fast forward to where you are now,
Mm-hmm.
and the shit that was probably in your head, or even just laying there like, man, I can murk these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of that could have happened. I'm not, and this is something I ain't never said to nobody. I was really getting ready to really put in some work. Swear to God, I had the car, was gonna sit right in front of Solar. I was in that motherfucker, me and my homeboy, was gonna sit right there in front of that motherfucker and wait. Was gonna sit right there, and we was gonna get off, like really get off. I had the AKs, everything.
You just wait for somebody to come out the building.
I'm not gonna say who I was
I ain't
waiting
gonna
on.
say that either, shit. But you was waiting. You know?
But I mean, it you know, cause that's how
It felt like
bad it
it
was.
went there.
It was there. It was there, and you know, but I had to say to myself, you know, I even talked to I talked to Dre about it the whole nine. Later on afterwards, I really told him, like, I was really getting ready to do some crazy shit. He was like, no, you don't need to get involved in none of that shit and this, that, and this, and leave that shit alone, and, you know, let it go. We was in my apartment.
What did you feel?
I had an apartment in Culver City. He came to my apartment in, not Culver City, but Century City. I made some cheese then.
Yeah, hell yeah, when you said Century City.
Yeah.
Shit. In the building?
Yeah, I was right there.
Hey, man, is it crazy that music and talent took you there?
Yeah, I was right there.
But even around the world, though, Warren,
Yeah.
like, you still perform. You conscious of your health.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Still producing music.
yeah,
Tapped in on what people are listening to.
yeah.
Right, like you never left music.
Nah,
And music never left you.
never.
You know what I'm saying? So Warren G today, what pops with Warren G today?
Everything. I mean, I love, still love music. I love doing it every day. I love barbecuing whenever I can, every day if I could. And just being a person that could talk to a lot of the younger artists to give them advice, give some of them inspiration.
Is that what your relationship with Zoe is right now too?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to him, give him inspiration. I told him, I said, look, I even said this to him. I said, you got to slow down on that drinking a little bit, you know, because he was saying my back hurt a little bit. I said, that's because I went through that same thing. Go get your liver tested. You know, make sure your shit is moving right, because people is just dropping. Like, you know, that's what made me conscious, because friends I went to high school with, guys I know I be with on a daily basis, falling out or having a stroke or this, that, and this. So I'm like, I got to get my shit together. And so I teach that to the younger artists that ask me, give them advice on different sounds, music, or they ask how did you do this or how did you do that, and I'll tell them how.
Right. You're not a gatekeeper, and you're not afraid of teaching
No,
the game,
not at all.
explaining the game.
I taught dads how to produce.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I taught dads how to produce.
What was your relationship with Pac?
My relationship with Pac was solid. It was straight solid. We had some bumps and bruises in the beginning. but ultimately our relationship was great.
When Pac came to Death Row, and you weren't a part of Death Row, but you're a part of Death Row. You know what I'm saying? And you say y'all had some bumps and bruises.
Well, before the, you know, this was before he even went to Death Row. I did some music for him, and just was wanting the compensation, wanting to get my bread for it. And he kept putting me off, like, all right, I'm gonna get it to you, I'm gonna get it to you. You know, just kept putting me off. So bumped heads with him at the Comedy Store. Tretch will tell you, Tretch was right there. We was at the Comedy Store, and I just pulled him to the side. It was like, you know, I need my money. Like, give me my money. He peeled it right up out his pocket and he gave it to me. That was it. And right after that, that's when, I don't know if you ever heard about them getting into a scrap at the Comedy Store. Right after that, that fight jumped
Like
off.
the
Right
same
after,
night?
right after that, right after he gave me my money, I went back on my way, just having
I
fun.
remember him because
Him and Tretch was hanging real tough, and it hurt me because that was my guy. You know what I mean? I'm like, it was some crumbs. Like I did like about 4 or 5 different beats for him for like $1,500 a beat. You know, so I was just, you know, $1,500. That was it. You know, so, you know, I was just trying to get my money. I needed it. But it wasn't like I punked him or anything like that. It was just like, nigga, I need my bread. You know, I got to get my money.
How did you not stay out of, but when the whole East Coast, West Coast beef was going on? You know, it was a lot of vocal shit that was going on as well, but...
I just... I didn't bite into that. I didn't bite into East Coast or East Coast and West Coast beef because of the love that they were showing me there on the East Coast.
Right.
Like I said, LL came and scooped me up. There's a cat named Benny Rat. He came from Harlem. He came and scooped, I think, yeah, Benny Rat was from Harlem. Big Bell from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, came and he was my security, but he showed me the ultimate love. And then just the people out in the street and not the industry. They was just, and even the industry guys that was solitaire in New York that was cracking, all of them was just the love was there, period. Only motherfuckers that was tripping with me was the beat nuts.
Oh, really? Psycho Lesson. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is these niggas tripping with me for? You know, Chris, it was something, because they was with Chris too, somehow, some way. I don't even know how the shit started. But it was some shit, it was word, we exchanged words back and forth. We didn't get face to face, because I never got a chance to get in face to face with him, because we probably would have been scrapping.
Ran to attack, huh?
And you know, that was like probably the only thing that I encountered was that. But other than that, everywhere was cool. I went down to the Bronx on my own, drove down in that motherfucker. It was me, a couple of my people went down there. I jumped out at the famous shoe store. I forgot the name of it. It was the big ass shoe store in the Bronx, and it was across the street from the projects where KRS-One them was from. The South Side Bronx and all. Actually, the South Side Bronx was down a little bit to the left, down the left. So I drove in the South Side Bronx, the projects up in there, and that wasn't nobody outside. I was like, what the fuck going on around here? Driving around, nobody outside. And the dude was like, it's pretty rough around here. He's like, if you ain't from around, you're gonna have to get up out of here, because it's rough up in here. And so, you know, I listened to him.
Hell yeah. But you know,
I drove down a little bit longer, and I turned around and I took off. Yeah, I got that footage somewhere. I just got to dig through a lot of the tapes I had. But they showed me so much love, man, out there. And then, you know, to be able to for Def Jam to be able to save the label when they, because it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad, and Leora told me that shit. Russell told me that shit. They was like, Warren, we got all your money by us with credit cards.
Damn.
That's how we was able to fund your project. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, that's how he was like, we was going downhill.
Yeah,
Like our shit
I
was
know
like,
it very well.
you know, our shit was bad. And he's like, you know, thank you. And you know, anything I asked for, they would do it for me.
Do you enjoy performing still?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
man.
it. I love it.
You know how people say the top 5 or the top 3? Warren G, what's your top 3 from you? Songs
Songs
of yours.
Definitely Sassy Ways. That's
Oh
one.
my God.
That's one of my records. Sassy
Hey man,
Ways.
Sassy Ways is, for those that know Sassy Ways, bro, that is a beautiful record.
Yeah,
From the beginning.
yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
And it was a story.
I love that shit. And when they
Yeah.
go Sassy Ways.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
Sassy Ways give you a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And it was that type of vibe in the studio. A lot of beautiful women. Nate came in that motherfucker with just a line full of women. So we just in there, and he kind of got pissed off at one of them because she was kind of acting like, oh, like her shit don't stink. So he
Acting
went and
sassy.
sat on the speaker in the studio in the corner, sat on the speaker, and he had his notepad, and he just looked, and then he started writing. He'd look at her, and started writing, and he turn on the mic. That's his main thing. He'd say, turn on the mic. Turned the mic on. He said, play the beat. As soon as I played, it was already playing, but he said, you know, record me. So that's when he first started out with that, oh, 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 ooh. And he did it again, oh, ho, ho, ooh. And then he was like, I like the light skin, dark and fine. I always not she lie, but she know she a dime.
Yeah.
Wanna do some nasty things. Wanna make her scream my name.
Oh my God, bro.
So we had to go off of what Nate did. Me and Snoop. I was like, wow.
So Sassy Ways is a one.
Yeah, Sassy Ways. Regulate, definitely.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be in there. We probably got to go with 5.
Yeah. I got a song called, let me see, Sassy Ways, Regulate. Damn it, I got a song. I don't know if people even heard this record. It's called In the Midnight Hour. In the midnight hour, yeah, yeah. In the midnight hour, I wanna make love to you. Woo, 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 woo. In the midnight hour, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Damn. I gotta know.
That album, people really haven't heard that album. It's called In the
shit.
Midnight Hour. I'm gonna get it back up on the DSPs soon.
Damn.
Nobody hardly heard that album.
Man, it was damn. Aside from that dollar bill, that was another one. How y'all?
Oh my God.
That shit, boy. Dollar bill. Dollar.
Yeah.
The cadence on that motherfucker.
Yeah, they call
Warren.
it dollar bill.
Yeah, man.
I banged that not too long ago.
Oh, that's my
that
shit, bro.
Hard.
And you know, the low hanging fruit is of course this DJ.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you go looking in, oh
Yeah.
my God, Warren, you got a catalog, bro.
Oh yeah.
And you continue to add to that catalog, bro.
Yeah.
Man, where were you when you saw Nate's health going down? The stroke?
We was working.
Yeah.
We was working together, and he came. It was one of our studio sessions when that's when I had the G spot in Lake Forest. He came to the studio one time, and he was like, I just came from the doctor, and he said, like, I got an enlarged heart. He said his heart was enlarged, and he said that the doctor told him he got to stop eating all the fast food. He got to slow down on the drinking. He got to change his shit. And he did. He started working out, playing basketball, and all kind of shit. And I just don't. What happened was because Nate would drink. He'd get his drink on, and from him he had went to the bowling alley one night and had an accident leaving from the bowling alley, and I think from the head injuries that he had is what caused like him to have a stroke, like because he had a brain injury like with that, and that I think that's what caused him to trigger a stroke and not drinking, because everybody like, oh, he was alcoholic. Yes, a gang of people that was drinking more than Nate. Mm-hmm. They didn't have a stroke like that, off of that. I think he was fine until then, but after that accident is when he just started, like, he had the stroke, and then he came back from the stroke, and he felt like he was cool. I had talked to him on the phone. He was on the west side of Long Beach because he had bumped heads with my homegirl, Sonny, and she called me like, Nate is right here. Put him on the phone. I talked to him like, what are you doing, Nate? Oh, just hanging out, and he was out, but he was buying some liquor. And about a week or two later is when he had the second stroke that then his mom found him. And we didn't even, didn't nobody even know until they called us and told us he was in the hospital. He had another stroke, and this time he wasn't like moving or nothing. He was just laying there, just like himself, just laying there. And we was like, damn, like what's up? Like what's going on? Like they was like he gonna have to go to rehab. He got to learn a lot of stuff over again, like his motor skills and shit like that.
Would you go see him?
Definitely. Yeah, I used to go up to the where he was at, and he was in Orange County. I used to go up there. I actually used to have my guy come up there and cut his hair. Yeah. But when going up there was horrible for me. Like when I say horrible, I mean it was horrible for me just to see him in the wheelchair, just like can't move, can't do. He couldn't move nothing. Like he couldn't move, just there, and couldn't talk. So just but his mother told me he'd tell you yes by blinking his eyes. So I would ask him something, and he would blink his eyes, like blink his eyes, like saying yes. I think it was yes for once, and for no, he would blink twice. And we just I would talk about shit that we used to do, fun shit. And he just broke down, started crying, had me crying. And I just hug him and just like, you gonna be all right, Nate, you gonna be all right. I would hug him and just, hold on to him. And it was horrible. I didn't even want to go see him like that. I was like, this shit is crazy. Like, it was bad. Like, I was fucked up. Like, how did you go from this to this here? Like, looking like this. This is crazy.
I saw it with my brother, bro, and I don't think
that shit.
I don't think people know the magnitude of something like that, especially somebody that had like so much life.
Yeah.
And then you just look at them. You know, my sister, she had a stroke a couple years ago now, but she's walking a little bit.
Yeah.
But my brother, when he had his stroke, bro, he never came home.
Yeah. Same.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it was bad, man, and I was just crying, and it was just a lot going on with that whole situation,
And when you do everything that you're doing now, even when you performing, bro, do you miss having those looking to the side and seeing Nate, or even when you do Regulate, we love that, but it's got to bring up a different emotion for you too, though.
It definitely it gives me. Well, first it give me that feeling, that same feeling as when we did it, and at the same time it gives me I feel like Nate is there, he with me, you know what I mean?
So it's powerful too.
Yeah, it's real powerful, and it's just I love doing the record. I love, you know, doing what I do in my shows. I do a dedication to Nate in my show, and I love that part of the show because, you know, it's like, this is for you.
Yeah, man.
This is for
And
you.
the crazy thing about it,
Yeah.
bro, is that never goes away.
Yeah,
You
never.
know, and that's when you say a catalog and music can last forever. You know, and there's things that'll be here long after we're gone.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we see those things, bro.
Yeah.
We see those things, Warren. So, but I just wanted to sit down with you off air, bro.
That's all.
And
man.
holler at you.
Yes,
you know what
indeed.
I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
And,
Yes,
and
indeed.
continue to do what you're doing, bro. And I love that the history, but what you presently doing and what's coming for your future.
Yeah.
And how you just stay locked in, bro.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you never screamed your name. You never beat your chest.
Yeah. I should have been hollering and beating and all.
And also,
I be wanting to go off.
I know when you know where the dead bodies are at too, though.
Yeah.
Not real, but you know what I'm saying. You know a lot that you hold a lot to your chest. We good, yo.